Okay, today I'm going to be doing a rather unorthodox video. This is for young men entering the construction field, and I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that you're not going to read in any field manual. Behind me, I've got a Sandy can, right? Now, I'm going to give you guys a warning right now. I'm going to be using some construction nomenclature in this video that some would consider vulgar. So if you're sensitive to this type of language, I would opt out of it. So when I worked in Seattle, I had to go through an orientation where they discussed how you enter a Sandy can. So here we go right now, but when you first enter a Sandy can, you should always bang it, push it, because as I learned in Seattle, so I enter this thing, up here above the door you're gonna see, drug addicts will leave heroin needles. So you have to be very careful of that. You should always shake it, especially if you're in a rough neighborhood, because they'll leave needles there, okay? The second thing you're gonna notice, and you should pay special attention to, is when you enter a Sandy can, you should observe both toilet paper rolls. Something that heroin addicts will do often is they'll clean their needles in the toilet paper rolls. They'll just stab it in and they'll leave their blood on it. Now, if there's blood, fresh blood, if they have some sort of infectious disease, that can be spread on the toilet paper. So you need to observe that. Learn this all in Seattle. This is all common stuff that happens that you have to be leery of. Now, the next thing you've got to be concerned about, observe your toilet. Right? We're going to lift this thing up. Now, pay attention right here. This is a common place where they leave needles. So you do want to observe here because they will leave their needles right here and you'll sit down and you'll get pricked. Okay, now that I've got the safety stuff out of the way, right? Here we go. This is where the rubber meets the road, and this is where the video is probably going to become too vulgar for anyone who's sensitive. Now, when you first arrive in a Sandy can, there's this blue dye at the bottom. Gotta be careful, I don't want to drop my phone. That would be terrible, and that happens to people. That's the first thing you need to be concerned about, is dropping your phone in that thing, in that biohazard. But right now there's just there's blue water down at the bottom. Now, if I were to just go in here and defecate in here, that would splash up on me. So you always need to make sure that you create a lily pad. Now the lily pad is good for a couple things. One, the water doesn't splash. And you should be afraid of that because there could be some sort of infectious virus in there, disease in there. And it's just gross, just plumb gross. Now you're gonna add your lily pad in there, right? So we get a good lily pad, that's great. Now, why do we add the lily pad? I told you it splashes and that's gross. Well, there's two conditions that can happen if you don't add a lily pad. And the first, now this is going to be vulgar, so plug your ears or get your children away. The first is a term called Smurf balls. And Smurf balls is where that blue water splashes and it comes up, hits your boys. Nothing grosser, nothing worse. Do the lily pad. Second, and this one, I mean, it's hard to say anything could be worse than Smurf balls, but the second one is the kiss of Poseidon. And this is one of the most violating things that can happen to any person that uses a Sandy can. The kiss of Poseidon is where the log falls, hits the water, erupts back up, the splash, and the splash comes all the way up. Unclean, unclean. You do it one time, I hope you learn a lesson, you know, but some people, they don't know the lily pad. So now you know it. So, construction tip of the day, Sandy can. Be good, do better, God bless.